Hey guys, today's Monday, September the 12th of 2022, and I want to go over Bitcoin. I'm noticing some interesting cycles developing as I speak, and I also want to do another video of Ethereum. I've been getting a lot of requests on that. A lot of news been going on with XRP and stuff like that. So I want to start out with Bitcoin because it's the top dog, and then work my way down to Ethereum. I just want to show you what I'm seeing on the chart. So without any further delay, let's get into it. As you know, my motto, I like to start in regards to cycles. I like to start with the weekly. And for those that are the nerds out there, that, I like nerds. I think I'm one myself. I'm using data from September of 2014. Oh, there you go, the bell. The market has just opened. So I am right in the mix of it. And so that's the data I'm using to current prices. So this is the time frame. There are two cycles that are important. I'm going to start out with the most important one that has good correlation. Is the 172 cycle. 172 cycle hit a peak around August 16 of 2021. And you can see that we hit a higher low here, then pulled back and got a nice little fake out. And you see how the market tends to trap people. So looking at this in hindsight, I would have been like, we made a higher low. This is probably going to be the turning point. And you look at that, it hit all the stops of all the people that were short and went all the way to 65 while the cycle was already hit a peak and it's going down. So these are the patterns you want to recognize and want to see. These are the little things, the nuances that you learn as you watch a lot of charts, especially on the weekly. So just because we hit a peak here doesn't mean that from here it looked like it was going to crash. It attempted to retest that high, and I always said markets like to retest things before they turn over. And it's not 100%, but most of the time they like to at least test it. And you see here it tested, broke even higher, and then that was the massive bull trap, and then it came down. And has been following the cycles, but now I got good news for you. Now the cycle has hit September 12th, which is, I think, either yesterday, let's see, 4th. Pretty much this week, we've hit a bottom. Maybe September 4th, we've hit a bottom trough, and now the cycle are pointing up on the weekly. So if you want the momentum to be on your side, and if it's going to play out, then what we want to see is higher highs and higher lows. Now that the weekly cycles are pointing up, so keep that in mind. I think things are going to look bullish. But price action has to confirm it. We got to make higher highs and higher lows. We need to take out this 24.31 and maybe pull back and then continue grinding higher. So that's what the weekly cycle is saying. The next one is the 41, which is the dominant cycle. So it gets a little more fractal. And you can see that now it pushes higher to like December, gets a pullback in March of 2023, and then pulls or pushes higher to September of 2023. So that's the composite projection line of it, using the 172 and the 41. Take the 41 out, and what you see is the major cycle here on the weekly now starting to go up. We're going to look at the daily chart and see what the daily chart is saying there, and then work our way down the charts just to kind of get an insight of what the Bitcoin is telling us. Okay, so this is the daily chart, excuse me, and I'm using data. I like to use 5 years at least when it comes down to the daily charts. I'm using data from 2017 to current prices right now, and there are two that are important, and one is the dominant cycle. So I'm going to start out with the higher time, the higher cycle, which is the 288. And you can see that the 288 hit a cycle low on May. You see that it even pushed lower. Now kind of, consolidating, do like this base. It hasn't made a lower low. And mind you, these are closes. This is not, the high, regular candles. This is just closes, every close of every day. And you can see that right now, the cycle is up, but we will hit a peak. We will hit a peak on October the 17th of this year. And it looks like prices want to kind of grind higher. The next one is the 195. And the 195 hit a trough, a low on August 3rd. And this one hits a peak somewhere around November 8th. So if we take those two, 195 and the 288, this is the composite that you get. So it bases out here on July. It's a peak somewhere around October, the end of October, and it goes down on the daily cycle. The last one is the 39th. It's the 38th. It's a dominant cycle, but I have it here as 39. And this is a little more fractal. So what you could do is take the 288 with the 39, and it shows you these movements. It's October 11th. Add in the 195 with the 288 and the 39, and this is what the projection is for the daily chart. Now, I will say that the 288 by itself, the correlation is not great. And also the 195, the correlation is not great. Once you put the 288 and the 195, you get a 0.60 in regards to correlation. As you can see, the price action. But this all remains to be seen. This is not, concrete. Price action is going to do is what it's going to do. Price action is king. So this is just kind of, using probability of what possibly could happen. The good thing is that the weekly cycles are bottoming out now. So if you got the weekly cycles pointing up and you got the daily cycle pointing up, I don't think it's a bad idea to even, consider, taking some longs. But that's all depends on your, your risk management, and, it all depends really on you and what you want to do. But just by looking at these two things, I don't think it's a bad. I have exposure to Bitcoin in relations to Hive. I own some shares there, so that's how I'm playing it. But I don't own any Bitcoin or any other crypto. I just playing it with a stock. So let's go into the next chart and see what we have there. Okay, so this is my seasonality chart, and you can see that year to date, we minus 59.17% year to date. So let's start with the top one. This is the 15-year average. You can see that on a 15-year average, typically September the 29th, Bitcoin makes a low and then, spikes up into November 9th. So that's one date or week you want to keep an eye on Bitcoin if this is a head fake and it pushes lower. The next one will be the 10-year average. The 10-year average does pretty much the same thing. Somewhere around September 29th, the last week of September, it pushes lower. It could be a capitulation looking at the way things are here. The cycles are pointing up, already now. If you want to trap more bears, just spike it down and let them get really excited and salivate and go short. And then, pop it right back up and just squeeze them out. So, and that could be, I'm just thinking on the top of my head, that could be your capitulation into the end of September, and then explode and squeeze all the bears out. And the same thing, it goes up to somewhere around November, first week of November. And then the 5-year average, let's see what the 5-year shows us. It's the same thing. So pretty much, I think they're all kind of in agreement that if there's more downside using seasonality, somewhere around the last week of September, if there's a capitulation in regards to price action, that's where I think you don't want to be scared. Because one, you got the weekly cycles going up, the daily cycles are going up. seasonality is already showing you that if it's going to follow that September, the last week of September, there's a low, and then it goes up into November. But that all remains to be seen. I'm just showing you what just the data that I look at in regards to price action. What could be the probability of this all playing out? It might not even spike down, the last week of September. This might be it, because now the weeklies are confirming it, and it could start, trending higher. So you just have to, be vigilant and watch the price action. Okay, so this is another chart I like to watch, and I don't really have a lot of data here, but I'm going to use it anyway. So this is a 5-year percent of months in which Bitcoin closed higher than it opened from 2018 to 2022. You can see that September is normally weak, and October looks like it's pretty strong. November and December are not that great, but as of now, 5-year shows that October is pretty good. I like to go straight to the 10-year. And I don't really have a 10-year. I have 9 years, so that's the best I got. And you see that September still is the weakest of August. And then October is pretty strong. And November is a little stronger. And kind of December's flat. So that's what, this chart is showing us in regards to seasonality, using, I guess, pretty much from 9 years and to 5 years. All right, so this is my last chart. This is what I call the master chart. This is where I really do all my pretty much in-depth analysis. And I have a lot of data. I got data going back to like pretty much July of 2010. And this is all the price action of Bitcoin. So I want to zoom in. Over here and just kind of show you what I'm seeing here. And the first thing here is I want to show you my pitchforks. So from this high here, you can see that we're battling now this 50% from this pitchfork, from these two anchor points. So, and that's what we're fighting right now. If we could close above that, this is going to be another angle you want to be watching, but we haven't gotten there yet. But the battle is right now within that 50% on the pitchfork. There's another pitchfork I had, which is even a bigger Andrew's pitchfork, and you can see that we're here fighting the 75%. This is the 100. So this would be all targets once we, we make higher highs and higher lows. But right now we're just kind of battling those two levels there. Another level is that this trend line that we have from this low, we failed it. And now it may want to retest that because it tried here, but never got that close. But maybe we might retest that here and then climb up. So this is a key trend line you want to watch. And obviously, if we grind higher, then we have to put one here. In regards to Fibonacci, this one, I believe, goes all the way back to July the 10th of 2010. You can see we're kind of like in no man's land. But if we were to flush down with the last week of September seasonality price action, the 76.4% is at 1627. So anywhere around 1615, I think that could be a good area to buy. And even if it pushes to 13 right here, that's a swing pivot high. Now, the next Fibonacci level is from this low of 3/11/2020 to the spike high. You can see that now it looks a little more realistic because now we're kind of more narrowing down the range. You can see that 76.4 is that 19,306. Price action has just been finding support, chopping around, revisiting it, and buyers are just coming in and holding that level right there. And in regards to Fibonacci timing, I think we just hit one today, or September 9th. Yeah, somewhere around there. There's a timing vector point that we just hit. So there's a lot of things, clusters showing up here. But price action has to confirm all that. The Gann square, this one is pretty much, let's see. Okay, so this is from the, I'm squaring the range from the data that I got of 2010. of July. And you can see that this level right here, 1726, is going to be a strong level. This is the 1/4. Now, squaring the range from this low, I'm squaring this range right here to this high using the Gann square. You can see now that this level is pretty strong too. Right here, this is at 2026. And we just hit a vector point right here. So you're hitting a vector point from the Fibonacci point of view, and you're also hitting a vector point from the Gann point of view, which is right here. So that's why, and then on top of that, you got the weekly cycles now starting to go up. So, you know, if you ask me, can it go up? I mean, a lot of things are backing it up for it to, like, you know, start going higher, you know, but price action is king. It's going to do what it's going to do. So let it show us that it wants to go high. And it wants to make higher highs and higher lows. Using our sun cycle, you can see that our sun cycle says that, you know, somewhere around September 25th, it makes a low, which lines up with the seasonality. So that's being confirmed. And then we, you know, trend higher. Let's see. What did I show you? I ran neural nets. This is a algorithm that kind of just, you know, does its own thing. It's like a black box. And I want to show you some nuances that I pick up. And I can't remember from where I ran it. But you can see that there was a high here, but there was a low here. Now we made another low here regards to price action. The neural net is indicating something about October the 26th. So just keep that on your radar. Is it going to be a high? Is it going to be a low? I don't know. But you want to just keep that on your radar. I did some spectrum analysis using relative strengths algorithm, and it wasn't looking too promising. It seems that we're hitting a peak here. And then I ran a composite on top of that, and it's showing a peak coming here. So it's pretty much inverse of what I've been looking at with other cycles and in the other video clip I showed you in the beginning. So this one is kind of backwards from compared to the other one. So the one I showed you at the beginning of the clip has more promising because there's a lot of things backing it up. But you never know. Maybe this is inverse and then it goes up. I don't know. Sometimes things are, you know, anomalies on the chart and the analysis. And then lastly, I'm showing you seasonalities. And let's zoom in because there's a lot here that's important. So these percentages, this is an algorithm I ran. Not an algorithm, more of a quant statistic showing that, you know, chances are there's 83.3% that prices could go down. And I ran them with all data and also with the I think maybe a 10-year or maybe a 10-year. And the 10-year pushes all the way to like the end of September, somewhere around there, or the mid, maybe around here. Yeah, towards the end, which kind of lines up with the seasonality. So like right now, using all the data, this one's saying there's an 83.3% chance that, you know, it goes down to here and then, you know, it could go up. This is the decimal and the annual average together, and it bottoms out here. And this is the annual right here, which bottoms out September the 22nd. And this is the fast and mid and annual. So there's a lot of, you know, seasonalities that are, you know, pointing, you know, it's like mixed bottom or maybe a little further down, but we're very, very close for maybe a turning point with Bitcoin. So I think that's it. Hopefully I didn't make this video too long, but I just like to show you some things that I like to watch and then see what price action is going to do. So if you're considering, I think if there's anything in regards to timing, maybe this is the best time to now start considering, you know, maybe building a position and not go crazy and, you know, buy everything, but just start maybe nibbling your toes into the crypto in regards to Bitcoin. The next video I'm going to try to do will be Ethereum and see what the cycles are there. But I'm sure maybe there's a correlation. If Bitcoin is going to go up, maybe Ethereum is going to pull Ethereum. But that's pretty much it. Hopefully you like this video, and I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on Bitcoin using Gann price and time technical analysis.